The Subcommittee on National Security, the Border, and Foreign Affairs will hold a hearing titled "The Risks of Progressive Ideologies in the U.S. Military." Here to talk about this further is the subcommittee's chairman, Congressman Glenn Grothman. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be on the show. Very important topic.
Exactly. So this hearing will examine the military's prioritization of progressive programs such as diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and other social priorities versus actual critical military needs. How did we get to this point where it's checking off diversity boxes over merit?
It's pervasive throughout our society. One of the goals of the hardcore left that is trying to take over this country is to divide America. And they want people, when they go to vote, when they think about things, to not view themselves Americans. They want to view people as Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, African Americans, and they want to give people classes to tell them that America is a repressive society and that they should be asking for something because of where their ancestors came from. And in order to make this as pervasive as they can, of course, we let people define themselves. So if you're 1/4 Mexican or 1/4 Korean, we allow yourself to say, I'm a put upon Asian or I'm a put upon Hispanic and I'm entitled to something. This is horrible. It's against all America stands for. And quite frankly, Stephanie, if you look in America, the wealthiest subgroup is Indian Americans. The second wealthiest is Philippine Americans. So we live in a society in which all these people have come here from places other than Europe, are succeeding wildly, and we have these DEI specialists in the military and quite frankly in business telling people that America is a horrible racist country.
And the Department of Defense says military services missed recruiting goals by 41,000 during the 2023 fiscal year, adding that only 23% of young people between 17 and 24 qualified to join the military, but even fewer have interest in joining. How do we change that?
Well, of course, the concern is we want the type of people who love America to go and who are ready to fight for America. And when you hear that the military is pushing this stuff where you got to take classes saying how racist America's history is and how put upon people are who came here not from Europe, less people are going to want to sign up. That's a major problem. As you mentioned, it's not a problem, but right now the military is the best of the best. Most Americans cannot get in the military, which is part of the reason we're not able to recruit people. But no question, part of it is the military is for people with smart people with common sense who love their country. They don't need people who hate America and who are utterly lacking in common sense.
And it goes back to the whole DEI initiative, and even Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, he's previously said and express his views on the importance of diversity, and Congress, such as yourself, different congressional members are saying, well, what about merit? What about the actual critical military needs?
Absolutely, and that's another problem. When we promote people, who's going to be in charge of that ship? Who's going to be in charge of that battalion? We want the best, not somebody who checks off a box and says, oh my goodness, we don't have a Native American here, we better promote that guy. No, we want the best of the best.
Absolutely. And speaking of Austin, Defense Secretary Austin, I would be remiss to ask about the controversy surrounding his decision not inform the President, National Security Council, or even the American people about his elective surgery. Some lawmakers are calling on him to resign, but the Pentagon says he won't, and President Biden has no plans to fire him. What are your thoughts on that situation?
Well, he's just being held to a lower standard than probably other people would be, but that's par for the course in the Biden administration. You know, we don't look for the best, and that's the problem. It's unfortunate. It's not surprising. If you want the best, you're just going to have to get a different president.
And switching gears, you were just in Eagle Pass, Texas, talking about the illegal immigration crisis at the southern border. And just days later, on Monday, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas made a trip there where he even said the migrant situation is out of control, but called on Congress to reform immigration laws. What's your reaction to all of this?
Well, first of all, he implies that it's Congress's fault. Let's not forget, under the last administration under Donald Trump, it would not be unusual to have only 10,000 people a month crossing the border. We believe when they release the numbers for December, they'll be over 300,000. So when you go up from under 10,000 to over 300,000, Joe Biden, who caused this to happen, can lower it back down to 10,000 with a stay in Mexico policy. He does not need the help of the Congress. We would like to do something in the Congress. Of course, we have a Democrat U.S. Senate, which is part of the problem, but we do need more people on the border. But above all, we have to tighten up the asylum rules, which right now President Biden is going to fight. And we're also going to, like I said, have to go to the return in Mexico policy, which President Biden is going to have to leave as he negotiates with the president of Mexico.
And I think DHS Secretary Mayorkas, who is facing so much scrutiny right now, Congress and Republicans, they did pass the H.R. 2, the Securing the Border Act. So, and of course, he's facing an impeachment hearing this week. So we have a lot to get to. Again, the chairman of the Subcommittee on National Security, the Border, and Foreign Affairs, Representative Glenn Grothman, thank you so much again for your time. And we'll be looking forward to hearing that hearing on diversity, equity, inclusion, and getting rid of the progressive ideologies in the military.
Thanks much, Stephanie, and don't miss it. Great TV.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.